Hello, welcome back to part 2. Hopefully you enjoyed part 1. Andrew, kick us off.
So this is going to be a segment on NFL surprises so far throughout the season because we're ranging towards playoffs and a playoff picture. So first surprise, did you guys see the Chargers starting off so slow and then coming to beat the Packers?
No. The Chargers, I think, are always, they've always been a decent team. They've always been, a playoff contending team. They're not bad enough to where they can't beat the Packers, but to where the Packers are right now, no, I did not see that coming.
So, to you?
It's one of those things where, yes, it does surprise me, but you don't elaborate it because the Chargers aren't going to do much. And
Especially
you already know the Packers are going to make the playoffs. Either wild card. Vikings are starting to play good. Other half of that division is, Lions are mediocre. The Bears are mediocre at their best.
Yeah.
So it's one of those surprises where you look at it and you're like, "Wow, it happened." Okay, let's go next week. Like it is like as a Packers fan or Packers organization, you gotta realize hey,
we just lost.
We're not there yet. We just lost to a team that has no business not beating us. Mm-hmm. But it happens.
For me, that was one of those where you build on it from both teams. Chargers, you take it. You run with it. You hope you can do good. But for the Packers, you take it. You say, wow, we should have put them in the dirt. We are going to go into next week with a chip on our shoulder. We shouldn't have lost that game. Mm-hmm. So, after that, what is the biggest surprise for you guys? The undefeated Niners, Lamar Jackson's season, the Bills having the second best record in the AFC, or the Browns being absolutely underperforming. And I know we already touched on that. But what is your biggest surprise, and if you'd like to touch on that a little bit?
I want you to go first on this one.
Mine?
Yeah.
For me, is the Browns being terrible, and we already talked about that.
Yeah.
We historically super teams never mesh game one or season one.
Yeah.
My apologies, season one. But in football, it's hand the ball off, get a good game plan, and that's Kitchens. But hand the ball off, hit the guy in the route, on the run, in stride, get explosive plays, but game manage.
Maybe go down.
They are not doing that on any level. They cannot game manage. They have no clock management. With a team that you could go up over the top, predictably, you could go up over the top every play to Odell, hit either him or Landry on a cross, hit Njoku on an out or an in on a linebacker or a safety. But they don't do any of that well. They don't run the ball well. They're not a smash mouth team. They're not a flashy team to where they get those passes off. And they're not a beat you defensively team because their defense is lackluster.
What about Baker?
He's a sophomore.
It rides on Baker a little bit, but when your team, I forget the statistic exactly, but majority of his interceptions touch the receiver's hands. So if I'm coming to catch the ball, and he's playing defense, and it goes through my hands and he catches it, that's completely drops it anyway. But that's completely on the receiver. But Baker's going to see that stat in 5-10 years when they say in the 2019 to 2020 season he had 30 interceptions. If this
You're not going
continues,
to see the stat where
you're not going to see the percentage of drops that went off the hands of the Browns receivers.
Personally, I don't like those stats because it's it touched my hand, but I jumped 5 yards to get it, and it was still overthrown. And I still managed to put a hand on it. Of course, I could have not made a play on it, but stats are a whole other discussion. But
the biggest surprise.
Okay. Like I said in part 1, I thought Lamar was the best quarterback in that draft. Mm-hmm. I thought the Patriots should have taken him. Him having an MVP season is a surprise, but not the biggest this season. Because I knew that he was good, and him starting out strong last season was showing. I thought the 49ers were going to be good, but I thought the Seahawks were going to run away with the division this year. But yet the 49ers are 8-0, Seahawks are 7-2. I'm not saying the Seahawks I'm not saying they don't have a chance to make the division or to win the division, but I think the 49ers being 8-0 is a bigger shock to me because I thought they were going to be good at maybe wild card. Correct? Mm-hmm. I didn't see 8-0. I saw Garoppolo maybe 10-6.
Did you predict that defense to be as dominant as it was? Or as it is?
Well, I knew I took it with a grain of salt because last year everyone was hurt. Mm-hmm. And young guys step up. They realize that they're a lot better when they get more snaps in. And then when you bring in back healthy vets like Richard Sherman, it just makes that team much better, which they showed being 8-0. course, there's always this scheduling, this and that, but the Packers lost to the Chargers. You still need talent to be an NFL team, you know. It's not like you're playing the Dolphins 8 weeks in a row, you know.
Who can't even tank right, by the way. Get a win for no reason. Absolutely.
Just because it's the Jets.
But to your point.
I just think that I saw 10-6, maybe 9-7. I didn't see, you know.
So your biggest surprise is the 49ers being undefeated this far.
Yeah.
To you?
I'm gonna go in the same boat as Elliot is. You know, Jimmy G, you know, unbelievable. Great quarterback.
I'm sorry, buddy, but no. Average numbers.
Average
Average
Okay,
numbers,
but
not
He's just the face of that.
But you need to understand is that, listen, okay, I'm gonna say this again. Being under Tom Brady's wing,
does not make you a great
Tom
quarterback.
Brady, okay, but Tom Brady is putting up average numbers right now.
Because Tom Brady's offense has always been checkdowns.
Okay, but the thing is...
Unless you have Moss or Gronk.
But you have to understand, though, is that Tom Brady, he's not in, you know, the most receiving yard, like a
Of course
top...
Tom Brady's not in the most receiving.
But you need to understand is Tom Brady
Gets
is...
wins.
Yes.
He gets wins. And
That's
this year, those are because of defense.
Let me talk. What I'm trying to say is that Tom Brady is putting up those average numbers as well, right? He's obviously had better seasons to where he put up more yards, more touchdowns, whatever. But he's always consistent. Being under the wing of Tom Brady, you will learn, you see, you observe, you do all these things as not even, you know, just being a normal human being just around one of the greatest players to ever play football, quarterback-wise, is unbelievable.
So, where does this figure into the Niners for you?
Is that I didn't know that they were going to be 8-0, but Jimmy, unbelievable. He's doing his thing. He's rocking out. He's learning, even from not being under the wing of Tom Brady. You know, he's reading. He's doing everything he can to keep those 49ers in check.
This is where I'm gonna have a little conversation with you about Jimmy G. I understand that you're surprised about that, you know, and I like that. That's a good surprise.
Okay.
But he's putting up Dak Prescott type of numbers, minus rushing.
I think what he's trying to say, he just isn't swinging around it, is that Jimmy G's doing
what he
needs to do to win games, just like Tom Brady is doing this year.
Yes.
But I think that's his point. He just couldn't get
But
to
when
it.
I get upset is that when you call him a phenomenal or a great or anything like that, when it's not those, his numbers are not that.
Okay, I'm not saying that his numbers are that.
So you can't claim that.
Okay, so what you're saying is that Tom Brady is not great because he puts up average numbers?
When Garoppolo gets 6 rings and then puts up average numbers, I'll say he's great.
Okay, I understand that. That's great. But you need to understand is that Tom Brady's putting up average numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Same thing with Jimmy G.
Yes, but Tom Brady also has 6
Okay,
rings.
I understand that. Okay, I know that he put up the numbers, but the thing is that he's always put up average numbers and won 6 Super Bowl rings.
I think he's led the league in passing yards like 5-6 times.
Okay.
I don't see
He's
Jimmy
also
Garoppolo
won
doing that.
MVPs.
I think he's doing that.
Jimmy Garoppolo this season is not gonna.
He's not rocking anyone's socks off by any means. He's averaging 150 to 180.
He's had
yards.
one game over 300 yards.
Okay.
You know how many Brady's had in his career?
Okay. He's still young.
Yes, but
He's
can't.
young.
Yes,
We're
but
talking
our problem is that
specifically about this season.
You're saying
Okay,
that
but
he's
this
being
season,
great and phenomenal.
okay, but this
but he
thing,
has not.
all right, this season,
Not saying that
I'm
he's not
surprised that the 49ers are 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing, they could have been 10-6, 11-5, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I am glad that they're on the road that they are right now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm upset that the Patriots are not undefeated, you know, trying to like butt heads with them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's competition.
There goes Zach Super Bowl.
It's competition. Yeah. But, yes.
Biggest surprise.
That's my
That
biggest
should be a
surprise.
surprise. And then, final NFL question.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if we've touched on this in a previous episode, maybe that I wasn't part of. Who's your midseason MVP?
We did.
So now that we're already at the midseason,
Yes.
we're 8 games, some teams 7. Who is the midseason MVP for you?
Russell
Nick,
Wilson.
Russell Wilson's your midseason MVP?
Yep.
I know you're going to be biased, so I'm waiting on it.
22 touchdowns. Let's see. I think he has about 5,000.
No, I don't think it's 5.
No.
I know it's not Russell Wilson, but
I'm sorry. It's mid 2,000 passing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns.
I know you're going for Watson.
Again, as I was saying before, is that Russell Wilson? He's the player, the rushing quarterback that has lasted in this league as long as he has with what he does.
Yep.
The rushing. Whatever.
So your vote goes to Russell Wilson?
Yes, sir.
You could call me biased because Watson is one of my guys I vouch for week after week. He is my fantasy quarterback.
Of course. It means a lot.
It means a lot to root for him. I watch him every week. I watch him more than the Patriots, to be honest. And I'm a Patriot fan, My thing is, though, these last games, he's putting up, MVP, not even just numbers. Just, if you watch film on him, he's showing
he's got glimpses of greatness.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
And he's my MVP this season. If he doesn't get it, he's going to get it. He's in the conversation next year. He definitely has the blueprints and the actual team around him. God, Bill O'Brien, we don't know if he's the coach yet in Texas. We don't know if he's the
guy. Yeah.
We don't know if he's the coach for Deshaun Watson. But whatever's working is working. You still got D-Hop. You're having Fells, who is being a great tight end out of nowhere.
Yep.
You signed Duke Johnson.
Which is
running
great.
back, which is great for Deshaun Watson. The offensive line could be a little better.
It could use a little work.
J.J. Watt, if he can play the whole season, that'd be great. Giving away Javion Clowney for a bag of potato chips that are half empty kind of hurts. But again, that defense gets better every year with draft picks and guys get better and you sign better players. But to me, it's Watson because he's of course having Andrew Luck retired and Brissett getting hurt now, essentially giving him the division kind of goes in his favor, but you can't discredit him for that because he still has to win games week by week.
So it's all up to him at this point. Me, this is a tough one because before the season started, I had predicted that Drew Brees was going to be.
I said Saquon in the beginning of the season.
I believe that Drew Brees was going to be high tier, up there MVP talks, but
getting hurt
after that injury.
And I just want to say that the 3 MVPs that are that are in the talk right now are 3 quarterbacks.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
This is you have your opinion, I have mine. We'll continue.
I saw it with my own eyes.
We'll have this conversation when it comes. If we're even talking about 3 people, because I asked for 1, it would be Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson,
yes,
Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson. Russell Wilson is 100% of that conversation, and you can interchange those 2. But Christian McCaffrey is 100% in that conversation. He has surpassed through 8 games LaDainian Tomlinson's MVP season in yards, and he's 1 less touchdown shy. Leads him in receiving yards and in rushing yards. 1 less touchdown through 8 games for the both of them in comparison. So LaDainian Tomlinson in his MVP season and Christian McCaffrey this season. And not to discredit the quarterbacks that you guys have mentioned, but it's not definitively 3 quarterbacks because you have a potential Hall of Fame record-breaking season coming out of a guy who doesn't have his great quarterback in Cam Newton.
But they're still winning without him.
And they're still winning because you, as a defense, need to game plan for a receiver, for a running back, and for a guy that can jump over you, run through you, or go around you. He is, at this point, either him or Lamar are my 2 MVPs.
Okay. So my thing is, I preferably don't like it to be just a 3 quarterback race. It is a quarterback-driven league, yes. I thought it was going to be Saquon before the season. We've talked about this as a group before we went on the air. That we all thought Saquon was just going to run away with it. Of course, injuries happen. They happen.
And a new quarterback, new offensive
new quarterback.
type.
A lot of things happen matter weeks
still
after
fucking
saying 1
freak,
week.
but it's just.
Of course, you have to have Christian McCaffrey, but when you have, you got to win the division. The Saints are running away with it. They're 7-1 right now, right?
And Bridgewater did great stepping in for
of course,
Hall of Famer Drew Brees.
Not saying that the Panthers aren't that good, but when you look at Watson, they're winning the division. Lamar taking the division. Well, week by week, it seems like they're gapping themselves from the Steelers. And the Browns, who keep underperforming every week, they're just creating that gap bigger. Russell Wilson is competing. He's not falling too far behind, only 2 games back to the 49ers. Of course, in football, that's a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But I think that Deshaun Watson, the way that he's been playing these past couple of weeks,
if he could continue through the rest
if
of
he
the
can
season,
continue like this, of course things happen, but I do if I had a ballot and I said first, second, third, Watson would be my first, McCaffrey would be my second, and Wilson would be my third. Because coming into the season, we know what Wilson's capable of. We didn't know Christian McCaffrey was going to be this good. We knew he was going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
But in fantasy talks, for example, it's either him or Kamara. Who's going to be better, right? Saquon's in that conversation, right? Who's going to be better?
Yeah.
This year, it's definitively C-Mac, right?
Yeah, but
We didn't know that, but we know Russell Wilson was going to be a better quarterback.
Yeah.
Watson was going to be a great quarterback. We don't know what Lamar was going to bring. That's why they are in these finalist
but
spots.
all sports kind of shy away from is that most valuable player means the most valuable asset on a team.
That means if you take one player away, that team is garbage.
If you take Christian McCaffrey off that team and you replace him with an average running back, which we'll say maybe 10 touchdowns to this point, average-ish, 10 to 13. That team does not win all those games. That team isn't where it is. That team isn't in a potential competition for that.
Of course,
that spot.
With that argument, you can say the same thing about Watson, Lamar.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
If you replace if you replace Lamar with an average quarterback,
Joe Flacco, for example.
that team maybe a wild card, not a playoff lock. And then if you go to the other guys, you go to Russell Wilson, you replace him
Joe Flacco.
with anybody. You could give them Eli.
And with their defense this year, they haven't had a good this year. This is the first Pete Carroll team that isn't defense orientated.
Yeah, so you got good running backs out there, but
Receivers up,
the receivers are all up in the air. They have hit or miss games, which is all accredited to Russell Wilson and his IQ and his ability to make plays. So Russell Wilson is, like I said,
the
definitively
highest
on
paid
that
player
path.
in the league.
So now it's down to Lamar and Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
If you take Deshaun Watson's 2 weeks away, and you
They're
have
0-2.
Lamar Jackson's full season of highlights and plays,
My-
and that same style of play he's been having since week one, where Deshaun Watson has been playing good football and now just turned up to that great football recently the past 2-3 weeks.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson's schedule and Lamar Jackson's record is different than what.
They're both, I'm pretty sure. I think Ravens are 6-3, Texans are 6-2.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that you said it. Deshaun Watson has been playing out of his mind these past 2 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Raiders and Colts.
But he's just now heating up. Lamar Jackson, this guy.
Week 2 to week 4, he put up great numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his one problem is consistency, and that comes down to game plan and offensive line. Because you can only do so much as a quarterback without killing yourself out there, right? Lamar, though, I can see the point of why people want to edge him out. Beat the Patriots. First team to beat the Patriots. Dismantled that defense. The best defense in football, right?
Yeah, the best statistically.
Arguably, statistically correct. Right?
Statistically
the best
defense.
defense in football. I'm not going to say arguably the best. No. Statistically the best in football.
Mm-hmm.
So Lamar might edge him out in that. But you can always say Russell Wilson's been great. But this season he's been phenomenal. And what hurt of Drew Brees and Saquon and Christian McCaffrey not winning his division, you can look at guys who are like, it's going to be Wilson, Lamar, and Watson so far.
But that's where the voters come in and they say, oh, well, they're not winning their division. Imagine how bad they'd be without him.
Yes.
So this is a double-edged sword for Christian McCaffrey's case because
I think he's going to get screwed at the end of the voting.
What
anyways.
I was saying about what I was saying before about how it's 3 quarterbacks is that at this point of the season, I think Christian McCaffrey should be in one of those spots, but right now it's those top 3. And like we said in pretty much all of our NFL videos, is that this is a quarterback-driven league.
Yes, it's
and we don't give the running backs more credit than just people watching football and into football should. But what I did see was Russell Wilson first for the voting. Like
NFL
didn't
posted
give you
it just said 3.
It
showed you
didn't give
3
numbers
players.
or
It said
anything.
Wilson, Watson, and Lamar, and showed basic numbers.
Yep, showed the passing yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and
the basic info.
Yeah.
Basic quarterback stats that would provide the information on whether or not a team is good or not. Mm-hmm. But what you don't see in a running back is those gritty yards, which is upsetting because running backs are the workhorse of the team. You could say a quarterback does the most or this and that, but if you really watch, other than your offensive lineman, nobody's getting hit more on offense. Nobody's got most of the time.
He's sending blocks.
Nobody has more heart than the running back on a team. If you look at the Saquons, the Kamaras, the McCaffreys, the Ingrams now for the Ravens. Though all those guys, if you found a stat that said who gets contacted the most, it's got to be them, other than the linemen, obviously, because every play they're getting bull rush and everything.
I don't think they have a stat for that. It's just 100%.
But your running back has got to be the biggest heart on the team in the backfield.
I do agree with you how it's the biggest heart on the team and that they should be able to...
That's got to be gauged in there.
They got to be like, hey, without this running back, Kyle Allen shouldn't be doing this well.
And he wouldn't be.
And he wouldn't be, of course. But, some people voting are going to be like, well, if Cam Newton was in,
This team would be phenomenal.
This team would be great with Christian McCaffrey's numbers. But it's like, no, his numbers would go down with Cam. So that's always, it's always a pros and cons situation. But I think that Christian McCaffrey is the first non-quarterback that should be up for MVP.
Oh,
and that Deshaun, Lamar, and Wilson are the quarterbacks that you should be looking at for MVP.
Also, what you said about the running backs, it's if you are just a football fan and just in general, even if you don't necessarily have a favorite team or whatever, just watch something on YouTube about how beautifully...
The NFL runs highlights of every game every Sunday, so if you miss a game, you can watch highlights.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is just look up a video of just running backs. Offensive linemen do their job so they can open up gaps big enough and well enough to where the running back can get a little space through to do his own thing. But Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Saquon. I said it twice.
Yeah, Saquon.
Well,
no, you're okay.
Saquon. If those linemen, aren't opening up those gaps, it's just a beautiful thing to see them finding a hole, finding
like that
a way.
2 or 3 years ago, Le'Veon Bell, where he would dance behind the line,
It's beautiful.
pick his spot, and just go. It's
beautiful.
He could pull a card out of a hat with the type of movement that he has. It's just picking your spot, knowing your position, and getting to the spot, and that's just all mental.
And again, today, it is not unfortunately, but sadly, kind of, it is a quarterback-driven league now of these days. But you still gotta give these quarterbacks some
exponential credit.
Yeah, man. What they do is beautiful.
So all right, so we're gonna wrap this up here. Any final comments before we end this?
I was gonna say that the NFL is looking in a great spot right now.
For sure.
Throughout all teams, and this is probably the best span of sports that we're gonna have in a long time.
Oh, and bask in it while you can.
Yeah, MLB is competitive.
Popularity is at its top right now.
Yep. NFL is also on the rise. Everybody's competing. It's
especially
flashy.
With XFL
it's
coming
fun.
Out.
And you're not expecting those teams that every team is competing except those 3 or 4 teams.
My thing is, it's going through a cycle right now.
Yeah.
The teams that were bad when we were kids are starting to become good now.
Exactly.
And the teams that were good now are on downfall, which is normal sports. You look at history and teams go through cycles.
To continue, we're at the epitome of sports right now, the apex that I think my generation is probably going to see. NBA is the most competitive. It's going to be in a long time. No more super teams, really. There's good teams, but I feel like
everyone's got a duo.
Everybody's got their buddy, and it's going to be fun to watch. So throughout all sports, I feel like we have competition, and just soak it up and come to our channel, Sports First, Everything Second, for our breakdowns and our analysis of it.
That was a good round. I do like it. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.
Tune in next time. We're out here doing it.
Instagram.